To finish the moment, to find the journey's end in every step of the road, to live the greatest number of good hours is wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Over the course of 2.5 years, we have experienced 2 journeys across 2 regions of the same world, always connected, yet forever separated by the veil of time. A different time, a different place, different mechanics, different Pokémon. And in the time between the first and the second journey, there was a dream, a goal, a destination concerning 2 opposing forces, a king and a god, vying for control, vying for supremacy, vying to remain the top dog. And yet, the veil of time between them prevents them from ever meeting, from ever fighting, either as friends or as enemies. Today, my friends, we end our journey in the Kanto and the Johto regions. And at the long last, the veil shall be lifted. The curtain shall rise. And the shackles will be released. And we will see, once and for all, who truly is the king. Hey guys, it's Grivenoni here, and welcome back to Pokemon Fire Red version. Wait, huh? Is this the right series? Are we playing the right game here? Well, as a matter of fact, we are, because for this big finale of our Let's Play, we actually need to go back to Pokemon Fire Red version and do a little bit of work, because there is actually a step that we need to take on this end in order for us to facilitate everything that we are going to be doing today. So we find ourselves here in Fuchsia City in Fire Red in the proper Kanto region Gen 1 time. And I think it's time that we get introduced to the original Fire Red team before we talk about what we're going to be doing here first. So let's review. So first off in our team is Ragna, the Scyther, timid nature, level 70, holding a Lax Incense, because why not? And he has the moves Aerolace, Fury Cutter, Slash, and Sword Stance. Next up is Kaiser the Nidoking, naive nature, level 71 with the moves Ice Beam, Mega Horn, Earthquake, and Thunderbolt. Third on our roster here is Searcher the Arcanine, sassy nature, level 71 with the moves Bite, Iron Tail, Flamethrower, and Extreme Speed. Next up is Rock Lee, the Hitmonlee, holding the experience shared at the immediate moment, quiet nature, with the moves Bulk Up, High Jump Kick, Brick Break, and Rock Slide. Next up is Raitoshi the Raichu, gentle nature, level 70. With the moves Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, Thief, and Thunder Wave. And of course, he does not need any introduction, but I'll go ahead and introduce him anyway. King of the Ring, OG member of this amazing party, the King, Gullywash himself. Level 70, hardy nature, holding a Mystic Water, with the moves Strength, Bite, Surf, and Ice Beam. And that actually brings me to why we are starting this video here. You see, Gullywash's current moveset contains both Strength and Surf, and these moves are both HM moves. Now, this isn't really that big of a deal, especially since Surf on Gullywash is pretty much the best thing you would want on it, aside from something more advanced like Hydro Pump or Hydro Cannon. But the thing is, if we want to move Gullywash and the others over to the next phase here, we actually need to get rid of the HMs, because for whatever reason, Pokemon with HMs cannot be transferred between generations, or at the very least, they cannot be transferred between Gens 3, 4, and 5, respectively. So, if we want to do anything with Gullywash today, we need to get rid of its moveset. Just a little bit of its moveset, but don't worry. Gullywash will come back, bigger and stronger than ever. The only thing that really hurts about this is that I did actually go out of my way to give Surf more power points than usual with a PP up, but c'est la vie. We need to talk to this man here, right next door to the Pokemon Center in Fuchsia City. Oh yes, I'm the mood deleter. I can make Pokemon forget their moves. Would you like me to do that? Yes, I would. Which Pokemon should forget a move? In this case, we want to have him forget, we want to have him work with Gullywash. We first want to get rid of Strength. Gullywash's Strength, that move should be forgotten? Yes. But do not worry, for Gullywash's true Strength will return in due time. Gullywash has forgotten Strength completely. And next up, we're going to go ahead and get rid of Surf as well. This really hurts, but again, we'll get Surf back on Gullywash. Don't you worry. Gullywash has forgotten Surf completely. So with that little step out of the way, there's only one other thing that I need to do, and that is for me to put this party inside of the PC. When you're transferring Pokemon from Gen 3 to Gen 4, you cannot transfer them out of the party. They need to be in your PC. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on this end, and we'll take things away with future Griffin Oni with our HeartGold Let's Play. Take it away, future Griffin Oni. Thank you very much, past Griffin Oni. And hey, we are back properly in Pokemon HeartGold. And on this specific end of Fuchsia City, we are going to be going to a facility that was not in Fire Red, but is here and is a quintessential part of the Gen 4 experience. And that is, there's a notice here. The Safari Zone is closed. Instead, we have the PAL Park. So now with the Safari Zone closed, the PAL Park installed, let us talk about it. Okay, no one here at the Mimo. Hello? I've heard trainers complain that rare Pokemon take longer to appear. Is it easier to start with common Pokemon? Interesting. The current record holder is Argento with 2,000 points. Can you top that? Oh, me? I never catch Pokemon myself, but I enjoy catching shows a lot. I love to see Johto and Hoenn Pokemon especially. The regions I've never been to are so mysterious. Good to know. Hello? If you want to see rare Pokemon, catching shows at the PAL Park are the best. All right. I can't see Griffin's catching show. Wow, Griffin, are you for real? Yeah, like, what do you mean? You can't see my catch show? My son's a big fan of yours, Griffin. Are you that famous? Yeah, lady, I'm the champion of this region. What do you mean, am I that famous? I am literally the leader of your country. This is unacceptable. Anyway, let's talk to you, the one I actually want to interact with. Welcome to the PAL Park. This is where top-notch trainers who aren't satisfied with the Safari Zone come to show their Pokemon catching techniques to their peers. Oh? Are you maybe... Ah, you are Griffin. My dad told me about you. Word is, you're a hotshot trainer. We'd be honored if you would participate in our catching shows. Yes, I'll be happy to do that. Yes, you agree to participate. Let's not waste any time. Let me explain how PAL Park works. Where should I explain? Let's just go ahead and go over the basic... Let's just go over everything. So, basic rules. PAL Park is a place where you are timed on the catching of 6 Pokemon. You are provided with 6 special Pokeballs for the challenge. Participating trainers are required to supply the 6 Pokemon that are to be caught. If you do not supply the stock of 6 Pokemon, you may not participate in the catching show. Would you like to know anything else? Catching show. At the start of the catching show, you will be given 6 Park Balls. Use the Park Balls to catch the 6 Pokemon you provide. Would you like to know anything else? Yeah, how about the actual stocking of Pokemon itself? Because that is the most important factor here. Insert a Game Boy Advance Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, or Leaf Green into the Game Pack slot. 6 of the currently caught Pokemon can migrate from the Game Pack to the DS game card when your DS is turned on, and you select Migrate From. Please note that you cannot insert a GBA game pack into a Nintendo DSi to migrate. Yeah, this was this thing was introduced around the time where they were introducing Nintendo DS systems that were not compatible with this function, so keep that in mind. Would you like to know anything else? Nope, I completely understand the assignment. Would you like to take part in the catching show now? Well, I would love to. But hold on, you don't have enough Pokemon for a catching show. You'll need to stock us with 6 Pokemon to participate. You should make some Pokemon migrate from Hoenn or another region. Well, I will definitely do what I can, but this is where we kind of need to talk about, well, the reality of how this Let's Play came to be, and moreover, how we're going to go about doing this, because it's not something I can easily do right this second. And so I will kind of put a little visual on screen to kind of indicate this. So the way that I was able to do this Let's Play was I took my new Nintendo 3DS XL, not because it was brand new, but because that is literally the name of the official product, and I sent it off to a guy in Germany who installed third-party capture card hardware into the new 3DS XL itself. It's actually pretty cool how it works. Not only does it work well with the software that I use to capture the game footage, but moreover, it actually functions as both the capture card and the charger. So I don't have to plug 2 things into the new 3DS XL in order to facilitate this. I just plug in the one cord and then I'm good to go. However, the new 3DS XL, much like the DSi, does not have a Game Boy slot. So how am I going to do this? Well, I both can and cannot. I can make the transfer, but I cannot necessarily capture every step of the transfer process, or at the very least, not in the same way that I've been doing with this. Now, hypothetically, I could send my DS Lite that I will be using to facilitate this process over to Germany and have that get third-party hardware installed. But not only would that be extremely redundant and relatively pointless, given that this is the only reason that I would need to ever do that, but, see, the thing is, I did this whole capture card obtaining thing right before the United States government introduced a bunch of tariffs. A bunch of tariffs that Germany does not agree with. Understandably, I don't question their decision on this, but it makes them super not willing to receive or send postage with the United States. And as such, it would be even more of a hassle than it was before to get my DS Lite over to Germany and back. I cannot emphasize enough that if I did not do exactly what I did exactly when I did it, this Let's Play never would have even happened. So thank you, United States government. You've actively made my Let's Play worse. But putting that aside for a second, I do unfortunately have to show the process, basically just turning on my DS Lite and just recording part of the process with my phone. My hope is that I only need to do the stuff in the migration menu in between, like this part and the actual capture show stuff. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to show the actual capture show in question, but I'm not certain of that. There's nothing on online forums to indicate one way or the other, but we're gonna find out right now. And if it doesn't work out, then I will do what I can within reason. But yeah, that's just kind of the reality of the situation. I do apologize if that is the case. But we're going to go ahead and cut things off here, and hopefully Editor Griffin is able to show the process of my migrating the Pokemon from Fire Red to here so that we can show the catching show. So, Editor Griffin, work your magic to the best of your abilities. All right, friends, moment of truth. Can this method be done? I've transferred them to the pack, but now I'm working with a system that does not have the Game Boy pack immediately inside of the thing. On paper, this should work, but we're gonna find out right now. Can I do this? Hi there, Griffin. Did you gonna participate in the catching show? Yes. Okay, here are your Pokeballs. There we go! The current record holders are gentle with 2,000 points. Okay, off you go, Griffin. Dazzle us with a masterful display of Pokemon catching. We can do this! It actually does work! This is such a ghetto method of doing things, but I don't care. Let the countdown begin. 3, 2, 1, start! Okay, inside the Pal Park, there are various regions for you to explore. There are grassy lands, there's kind of rocky terrain areas, there is a forest section off in the left here. And in 2 sections of the Pal Park, there's kind of a beach area with some deep water, as well as up here, I want to point out, there is some fresh water. Now, what Pokemon you're going to find and where they're going to be is entirely going to depend on what specific Pokemon you chose to transfer over. In the field section, there should be something for us. And we're going to be starting off with Ragna, the Scyther. Let's go. So Ragna comes back to us. These Park Balls have a 100% catch rate. They are guaranteed to work, and they're only here for this specific moment. Once you get a Pokemon transferred to you and you get it properly for yourself, the Pokemon's Pokeball will be whatever Pokeball it was caught in. So in the case of Ragna, for example, with respect to my Fire Red Let's Play, Ragna was caught in a Safari Ball, so therefore Ragna will be in a Safari Ball now. As for who's next, Kaiser! He's back, baby! All right, Kaiser has been caught. 2 down, 4 to go. And well, yeah, probably 1 or 2 more in the fields, probably. Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go. Searcher is up next. A lot of field Pokemon, but we'll definitely get the opportunity to take a look at some other Pokemon that we can find here. And like that, Searcher has been caught. That takes care of Searcher. Now we have 3 more. I'm guessing in here. Yep, as I suspect, in the forest section, we can find Raitoshi. Raichu makes sense after all, since Pikachu and Raichu are, for whatever reason, forest-based Pokemon, except when they're not. But hey, doesn't matter anyway, we got Raitoshi back. Okay, so that takes care of 4 of them. As for the remaining 2, we're not going to be able to find them in the fields that we were looking before. I'm pretty sure if we want to find our boy, we're going to need to go here first. As I suspected, Rock Lee is found in the mountainous area. All right, Rock Lee has been caught. Beautiful. All right, that takes care of Rock Lee. Now, as for our last one, I believe the king can be found in the water area. You do definitely want to be sure you have a Pokemon that knows Surf if you're planning to catch aquatic Pokemon of any kind. I would assume they're in the freshwater section. Yep, there they are. The return! The reveal! He is back! Gullywash the king! And there we go. Gullywash has been caught. Ding dong, congratulations. Griffin has successfully caught the stocked Pokemon. There we go. Oh, congratulations. That's all 6 Pokemon caught. The audience sure enjoyed watching your catching show. All right, let's see what your all-important score from the show is. Catching points, 480. Time points, 1516. Type points, 1400. Total is 3,396 points. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Wow, that's an outstanding record. Kudos to you. It's time for your prize. Here you are. Yes, for doing well in the catching show, you get a nice little berry for your troubles. Would you like to put all caught Pokemon PC boxes? Yes, sir, I would. Done. Your Pokemon have been boxed away. You'll now have to save the game. If you want to do another catching show, please come see us again, please. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna check on the boxes and then I'm gonna save the game real quick. Yay, they're all here. Everyone's back. I do want to make note that while I was going through the process of transferring them over, I gave every single one of them held items. None of them really have to do with their strategy for the most part. It's just one of those things where they do have the ability to carry over the held items that you give them. And so I figured, hey, I'm transferring them over. I want to take advantage of that. So for the immediate moment, Raitoshi is a Quick Claw, Rogna has a Lox Incense, Kaiser's a Silk Scarf, which is worthless on him right now. Searcher has a Rare Candy, because I had some to spare. Rockley has the EXP share that I've been relying on so much. And of course, Gullywash actually appropriately has the Mystic Water. Now, before we get into anything that we're going to be doing with Gullywash and his crew today, I am going to be taking just a little bit of time off screen because I need to get me some heart scales, because Gullywash needs some more moves, and I'm also going to do what I can to rework some of the old team's moves. I'm not going to change too much, but come on, do you really want me to just keep Fury Cutter on Rogna? We have X-Scissor now. We have good options, and I want to be sure that for what we're doing today, we're bringing the best out of my original team as they go against the new one. So give me a few minutes, and I'll see you guys later. All right, after some extensive heart scale grinding and going to a few other places, I have more or less reworked the original Fire Red team to the modern day. So let's give a quick overview of how the team is looking now. So to start off with Kaiser, I'm just going to be honest, I didn't really change anything about him. The only thing I really did was give Kaiser the Soft Sand, but factoring in its moveset, it has Ice Beam, Mega Horn, Earthquake, and Thunderbolt. There is a argument to be made that I could teach Kaiser Poison Jab, and it could be beneficial, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with this moveset, and I have really no intention of changing it, so we're good in this specific regard. As for Rock Lee, I did not change anything about him either. His moveset was pretty solid. I did debate between High Jump Kick and Close Combat, but ultimately I went with High Jump Kick just to kind of maintain the high risk, high reward deal that Rock Lee has always been about. So nothing has really changed there. I've given Rock Lee the Muscle Band just to give him a little extra physical offense. As for Searcher, the main thing that I have done with Searcher is I have given Searcher Thunderfang instead of Bite. Thunderfang is just going to be generally better for coverage purposes, and as you'll see, I don't really need quite as much Dark-type coverage as I previously had on the team. Now, it is worth acknowledging the elephant in the room, which is, why did I not teach Searcher Flare Blitz? That's because you can't teach Arcanine Flare Blitz. There is no way to do it. The only way for Arcanine to know Flare Blitz is for it to learn Flare Blitz by a level up as a Growlithe. And so this is kind of one of the disadvantages of transferring Pokemon from Gen 3 to Gen 4, because if you mistime things in just the right way, you do kind of miss out. And so Searcher will never be able to learn Flare Blitz is one of those examples. So yeah, we're going to be sticking with Thunderfang, Iron Tail, Flamethrower, and Extreme Speed as is. But hey, that's not a bad moveset, it's just not Flare Blitz. Rogna, I would say, is the one that has been going through the most changes in terms of its moves. It has Aerial Ace, X-Scissor, Night Slash, and Sword Stance. X-Scissor and Night Slash are brand new. They were not available to Rogna before, but this is going to give Rogna much better offensive potential and much better coverage overall than it previously had. I've also given Rogna the Focus Sash because, while Bug Flying is very offensively viable, it is also riddled with a lot of weaknesses, and I want to be certain that Rogna can get off a Sword Stance safely and be able to just absolutely destroy whatever's in front of it. As for Raitoshi, I've gone ahead and given Raitoshi a couple of new moves. So I've given Raitoshi Signal Beam and Iron Tail in place of Quick Attack and Thief. Because, let's be honest, Quick Attack wasn't going to be doing much at this point, and while Thief is somewhat viable, it is not nearly as offensively competent as Iron Tail is. So, get a little bit of extra coverage with a Bug-type Signal Beam and an Iron Tail on a Raichu. It just fit for me. And then, of course, Gullywash the King still knows Bite, but it also knows Ice Beam, Surf, and more importantly, Flash Cannon. This is actually something that's really cool about Blastoise in Gen 4, is that Blastoise in Gen 4 can learn Flash Cannon via the Move Relearner. So, really cool thing about that. Oh, and before I move on from everything, I do want to point out, because I forgot to mention with Raitoshi, Signal Beam on Raitoshi. Raitoshi cannot normally learn Signal Beam via level up or by TM, because Signal Beam, to my knowledge, is not a TM. So I actually had to unironically use the move tutors at the Battle Frontier to teach it to Raitoshi, but I still feel like it works out. Oh, and since some of you brought this up before, I actually also took the time with Saris and went ahead and taught Saris Cross Poison by the Mover Learner. For some reason, I thought Saris learned it completely naturally by a level up, and while it is objectively naturally, it cannot be taught to Saris unless you use the Mover Learner. So there you go. Saris no longer is Poison Fang, it is Cross Poison. So now we can all breathe a collective sigh of relief. And now Saris is as good as she is going to be for the final battle that lies ahead. So with all the preparations out of the way and the old team getting more modern movesets, the big question is, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make the Fire Red team face off against the Heart Gold team? Because that has been the most pervasive question regarding this entire Let's Play. So there are a handful of ways I could go about doing this. And one of the ways that kept coming up was, oh, I could use the copy of Soul Silver I have. I could trade over the Pokemon over there in order to facilitate the battle. And I could do that. It would be kind of weird, however, if I did that, mainly because all the moves and decisions involved would be me on both ends, and I feel as though it doesn't really feel as sincere if I have absolute control over everything that's done on both sides. So one would naturally think, oh, well, just invite someone over. That's not really a viable option nowadays. Sorry. So with no one to really work on the collaborating with this, and no real genuine way to effectively do this between HeartGold or Soul Silver, how are we going to do this? Well, I thought about it a bit more, and I decided that in order to best facilitate this spectacular battle between the Fire Red team and the HeartGold team, we needed to revolutionize the process. That's right, everybody. We're going to be doing this big finale in Pokemon Battle Revolution, a game that came out on the Wii that is essentially the Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD stadium-like games that came out during the Wii era. For the longest time, this is all we had. And honestly, I can't really think of any like better way to kind of give these two teams a proper like final battle between each other, because like I'm really excited for this. I really want to put them on the grandest stage that I can. So how are we going to do this? So for starters, the first thing we need to do is in this particular game, we need to go to storage. And what we want to do first is we want to go to copy Pokemon. This will enable us to basically make a copy of all the Pokemon that we have in my 1DS game and transfer every single one of them over here. That way we can use them in this particular game. So we're going to go ahead and hit copy Pokemon. And meanwhile, while I am doing this, on my respective end here, you'll see that I'm recording the DS again with the relatively ghetto method, because one thing that I have to do, and then I cannot simultaneously record, is I need to go into the kind of the menu right at the start of the game, and I need to scroll down to go to Connect to Wii. By going here, this will enable me to search for the Wii itself. And the Wii will be found, and they're going to communicate with the Wii. Get that nice, delicious Pokemon Battle Revolution noise that we love so much. I love seeing this on the Nintendo DS. So they're going to take a minute just to kind of get themselves connected to each other. The nice thing is that this does not require internet. This is entirely wireless. So even though online services have been disconnected for both systems, it does not matter in this particular case. As long as they can emit the signals necessary between each other, they can send a copy of all the Pokemon data to the Wii, and then we will be good to go. Okay, and the entire thing has been transferred over. So now the DS system will turn off because for some reason doing that turns off the DS in its entirety, but you know, not going to complain about that. And we will go ahead and quit from here. And now we can check our storage to see that every Pokemon has been transferred over. All of the Pokemon that were in my party when I made the transfer made it over here, as well as every single Pokemon that I caught or at least have in Pokemon HeartGold. Every single one of them got transferred to this specific game. Even my original team. The second step to facilitating this, or at least I hope I can do the second step right away because I had to make a fresh save file to get that first shot, is we need to go to Custom Pass. Perfect. So we have 3 custom passes available right now. Again, what I use does not particularly matter in this case. I'm just trying to do the minimum that I need to do in order to facilitate this specific battle. So we're going to do custom pass. I'm going to create a custom pass. And what avatar I use for the specific instance does not particularly matter, but I am going to make things a little interesting here. So we're going to call one trainer Griffin Oni, just for the sake of it. And what we're going to do next is we're going to add the Pokemon from my HeartGold Let's Play, or at least the party that I used for this whole adventure, into this specific pass here. Okay, so there is my pass containing the HeartGold team. Now I need to make another one. And just to add a little bit of visual variety, I am going to apply the Cool Boy A model for this one. And for this one, we're going to be calling this particular trainer Gedki, or Gedki G to be more accurate. Now, the reason that we're going to be going with this name is because when I did my Pokemon Fire Red Let's Play, I did not go under the moniker of Griffin Oni at the time. I went under the moniker of Gedki G1122. And as much as I prefer Griffin Oni, I still have some, at least enough nostalgia for the name to at least give it one more final send off while we fight the Fire Red Let's Play team. So let's go. Let's go with Gedki G for today. And the nice thing is, since the Fire Red Let's Play team is in my active party here, I can just hit Set DS Pokemon Party, and instantly every single one of them is added. I don't need to manually add them. So, pretty cool. But now we got our teams all lined up. Now, the next step here to facilitate this is we need to go to the battle mode. We go here, and we have 3 different options here, and I do want to point out, this battle tutorial section in this game is actually one of my favorite things in this game, mainly because if you delve deep enough into the battle tutorials, they actually do a great job of explaining all of the key differences between Gen 3 combat and Gen 4 combat, especially regarding the physical special split and little differences that were changed in the moves. For example, Surf only hitting both of your opponents in Gen 3, whereas in Gen 4, Surf hits both your opponents as well as your ally Pokemon. Little things like that. I think they did a great job of covering that in this game, and it does not get enough credit. But I'm not here to bore you on that. You're here to see the big finale. So what we want to do is we want to go to free battle. We're going to do 1 player. And given that this is a fresh save file, we're going to do 1 battle in Gateway Coliseum. And we're going to actually create some custom rules for this one, because anything goes is not going to give me exactly what I want to see out of this, and level 50 all has its own problems. So I'm going to create some custom rules for this one. So the main thing that I've changed it to is I've set it to level 50 all, so that way both teams have a relatively fair shot of doing this. I've also changed it so that the number of entry Pokemon has no restriction. I didn't want to make it so that way it was locked in at 6, but I also did not want it to be limited to 3 or 4 depending on the exact ruling. You'll understand my reasoning for this later, but I wanted to be certain that no restriction was in play. So we're going to go with this specific rule for now. And of course, the game has to be saved because the rules were changed. Don't understand that. And for this specific battle, we're going to be doing single battle mode because I want to give each and every Pokemon their best shot to shine on their own, or at least ideally. Now, if you know anything about this specific game, you know that my commentary might come off as relatively redundant considering what this game has to offer. So, for the most part, I am going to be quiet during this upcoming segment, but trust me, it'll make sense why I'm doing this. Let's go! So I'm going to select my team. I'm going to use this pass for my purposes. And the CPU will be using this. Everything has been set up the way I want it to. Only one thing left to do. I don't have any idea how the computer is going to behave. So, just to, again, just because I don't really know what's going to happen, I'm going to open up with Hogan, and then we will go from there. One might think, based on my history with Blazer, I would want to start with Blazer, but I actually do not want to start with Blazer. I'm hoping that things go a certain way, but again, I have no idea how this is going to go. This could go either way. This could be a one-sided wash. I really don't know, but there's only one way to find out. So let's go.
Arcanine intimidates its opponent. The Colosseum is heating up as the spectators wait for the battle to begin. And now, the battle begins. A smashing blow. The red corner cannot move. The situation is a bit of a stalemate. It's a mental tug-of-war as they anticipate each other's move. Rock slide tumbles down. It went down! Blastoise is sent out. The blue corner has the lead when comparing the number of remaining Pokémon, but we still can't predict the outcome of the battle. That hurt. The red corner cannot move. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory? A beautiful attack! Hit! Soaked by surf. It went down! Typhlosion is sent out. In terms of the number of remaining Pokémon, it's an even 50-50. Who will break this balance? Power Herb took effect. It's all ready to go. Seared by Solar Beam. It went down! Scyther is sent out. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory? Its attack rose. A fierce blow. The red corner barely holds on. The Coliseum is burning with excitement. A fierce blow. Such amazing power. Singed by flamethrower. It's down and out. Nidoking is sent out. The blue corner currently leads. Can they end this quickly? A fierce blow. It's a direct hit. Pierced by Megahorn. But this is not a favorable matchup. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory? Singed by flamethrower. It's down and out. Raichu is sent out. The Coliseum is burning with excitement. Earthquake tears open the ground. A huge amount of damage. It's down. Hitmonlee is sent out. The battle has reached its final stage, and the tension is peaking. A fierce blow. It's a direct hit. Slammed him. It couldn't take it. It's down. Throwback is sent out. Aerial Ace hits. It went down. The results are in. The blue corner pulled off an impressive victory.
Let's go! They did it! Okay, so that was a little bit of a wash. No pun intended with respect to Gullywash. However, there is one other thing I do want to do to be absolutely certain that we are satisfied here. So let's do this. Now we're going to do this one more time, but now we're going to put it in the double battle style format to see if that makes any meaningful difference. It was a little bit back and forth at first until Blazer absolutely came in and dominated. So let's see if having two Pokemon out at once makes any meaningful difference. Again, there's no way to know for certain. Okay, let's do this one more time and let the announcer cook.
The Pokémon stand heroically against an inspiring view of Poketopia at night. And now, the battle begins. Crobat flies up high. Arcanine starts to attack. But the target Pokémon is in the air. The attack missed. An impressive move. That was excellent teamwork. corner has already taken some serious damage. However, this battle is just getting started. Quick Claw took a bet. A smashing blow. That dealt some massive damage. A gang attack. Blastoise barely holds on. Such irony. Its own teammate was the only one to go down. Hitmonlee is sent out. A fierce blow. It's a direct hit. A fierce blow. Such amazing power! Rockslide tumbles down. It couldn't survive the second hit and goes down. Ice beam hits. Taken down by an intense blow. Espeon is sent out. Cyber is sent out. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. What kind of developments can we expect to see next? Hit by Psychic. It's down and out. Rushing blow. A huge amount of damage. It's down. A fierce blow. Scyther barely holds on. Is sent out. Raichu is sent out. A chilling breeze can be felt in the Colosseum. Bam! A huge amount of damage. It's down. Thunderbolt. It couldn't take it. It's down. Heracross is sent out. Typhlosion is sent out. Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory? Aerial Ace hits. Taken down by an intense blow. A fierce blow. Such amazing power. Singed by Flamethrower. It couldn't take it. It's down. The last Pokemon from each team will take the field. The energy level of the fans in this Coliseum has been turned up to 11. A fierce blow. It's a direct hit. Thunderbolt. It went down. Game, set, and match. The blue corner just barely lost.
I cannot believe that happened. Wow. Okay, so it does make a difference. Okay, good to see that. So that takes care of the single battle and the double battle format. And as you can see, it's not so clear-cut which team is better. My HeartGold team did better for single battles, but for double battles, the Fire Red team ultimately came out on top. So with that in mind, is there anything else to do? There is one more thing I do want to do, and I do need to work on the custom passes in order to make this happen. So give me a minute. All right, I've made one major alteration to both of the battle passes. I've removed every other team member from each respective team because the one thing that we need a clear-cut answer on is this. Which is better, Blazer or Gullywash? Who's gonna reign on top, the king or the god? Let's find out.
This is an important battle for both trainers. It's time to think about a cautious battle strategy. And now, the battle begins. The blue corner makes the first attack. A big hit already. Soaked by surf. Taken out already. Game, set, and match. The blue corner lost.
Let's go! Gullywash won! I'm not even bad. I feel bad for Blazer, but Gullywash is still on top. He's still the king. It's like, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know who was gonna come out on top. I think it could have gone either way. That makes me so happy. Again, I don't like seeing Blazer fail, but I love seeing the Gullywash, even after all this time. He's still the king. Let's go! Okay, so I hope that I've effectively demonstrated that, yeah, there are some disadvantages to the Fire Red team, but ultimately, between the double battle and the single battle that they had with my HeartGold team, they ultimately came out on top. Not to say that my HeartGold team is bad by any means. I love both teams equally. But I gotta say, there's something really satisfying about knowing that, honestly, at the end of the day, Gullywash is still the king. Ain't that right, Gullywash? Gullywash faced this way and nodded. Okay, well, at least he agrees with me. He didn't disagree with me. He nodded. That counts for something. Well, in any case, you're probably wondering what we're doing at the Pokemon League. Well, as satisfying as those battles are, and I'm glad that we were able to see those battles play out, there are actually a couple more things that I want to do with Gullywash and the rest of the Fire Red team while we are still doing this finale. And the first thing that I need to do is I actually need to sweep the Elite Four and the Champion, because there is one more major fight that I want to do, and I want the Fire Red team to be the ones to do it. So I'm gonna go sweep the 4 real quick, and then we will show the battle with Lance. We'll at least show the battle with Lance with the improved Fire Red team, just to kind of see things play out. But yes, if we want to do this, we have to sweep through the Elite Four and the Champion one more time. So let's get into it. Okay, I have made it through the Elite Four with my Fire Red team. Now, it is worth pointing out a couple of things that happened while I was fighting them. So, first of all, you'll notice that the team has leveled up a couple of notches for the most part. At this point, Gullywash is the only one that is not at least level 71, and that's mainly because the others just were better specialized for dealing with the particular members of the Elite Four that we were fighting. Now, as far as how it was able to happen so easily, it is worth pointing out, again, that while these Pokemon are mine in essence, they are not mined with respect to this game, and as such, they are considered traded Pokemon. And because of that, each and every one of these Pokemon gets a boost to their EXP. So when they do a fight, they get an additional 50% boost to their EXP count, which is really nice. But yeah, all there is to do in this place is to fight the champion. And yeah, I just feel that it's best that if we're going to show up Gullywash and his crew, that I do it in every way that I reasonably can. So let's have Gullywash come in here and do what he does best. I've been waiting for you. Griffin, I knew that you, with your skills, would eventually reach me here. There's no need for words now. We will battle to determine who is the stronger of the two of us. As the most powerful trainer and as the Pokemon League champion, I, Lance the Dragon Master, accept your challenge. Here we go, guys. We're fighting Lance once again. But this time, we're using our Kanto team. So as before, he's going to be starting off with Salamence, level 72. Intimidate for the ability, evidently. Holding a Lumberry with the Moose Dragon Claw, Flamethrower, Shadow Claw, and Rest. Like before with Bizumoidi, we're going to go ahead and opt in for Ice Beam. But as we're pointing out, the Gullywash is slower. So we are going to probably be struggling just a little bit more, but that is all right. That's what we want. We want a bit of a challenge for this Kanto team. Ice Beam is still quad super effective against Salamence, so we should be able to get through this. Or not. It's quad super effective, and it did not knock it out. Mildly disconcerting. Come on, Gullywash, you can do it this time. Oh, we got the freeze, let's go! Unfortunately, Salamence has a Lumberry, so that's exactly why it has that. So now Salamence is going to be going to rest. So yeah, as we can see here, it's obvious that we're not going to have quite as easy of a time as we did the first time that we did this with the HeartGold team. Even though the Fire Red team did ultimately prevail, at least when it came to double battles in the 1v1 versus Blazer, in single battles, the HeartGold team did prove to be overall more effective. Really, Lance did not go for a full restore. I swore he was going to do it. Oh well. Not going to complain about that. So there we go. Salamence is out, and yeah, Gullywash gets a boosted 5,044 EXP, instantly getting into level 71. All right, he's now going to be sending in Gyarados. I'm going to switch out to Raitoshi for this next one, because Raitoshi is best equipped to deal with this. So here's Gyarados, level 68, also Intimidate for the ability, with the moves Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Ice Fang, and Thunder Wave. I don't understand the proclivity to have Thunder Wave on their advanced teams, but not going to complain. Raitoshi's got the Magnet, and it's got Thunderbolt, so Raitoshi should be able to handle this. But then again, Ice Beam was quad super effective against Salamence, and it didn't do as much. All right, there we go. Gyarados has been knocked out, and Raitoshi has also leveled up to level 72. Now he's going to be sending in Garchomp. This is definitely going to be the biggest problem here. Yeah, I think we just need to go all in with the Gullywash. Sorry, I was just very worried here. All right, Garchomp, level 72. Sand Veil for the ability. Not that it particularly matters in this case because he has no way of setting up Sandstorm. With the moves Outrage, Short Stance, Earthquake, and Roar. Instantly going for Outrage. This could be a huge problem. Oh, Gullywash still pulls through. But yeah, now we're pretty much dealing with Pokemon that are at the same caliber of level as my current team. So it is a bit of a problem. Okay, I know that he is straight up going to use Outrage again. So I'm actually going to use the Max Potion on Gullywash and pray that I can withstand at least one more. We can at least withstand it to where I have more than half. Nope. Okay. We're doomed. Okay, let's do this then. Since we know that Garchomp is going to opt in for Outrage again, I'm going to switch into Searcher and lower Garchomp's attack with Intimidate. So hopefully it should not do as much to Searcher now its attack has been lowered a little bit. God, it still did more than half though. Okay, well, I'm going to go for extreme speed in this case and hope that that extreme speed will be enough. That is the reason that I have it on Searcher, even to this day. Oh my god. Okay, thank god. We got lucky there. That really could have gone either way. I will take it. So Gullywash and Searcher each gain some EXP. Next is going to be sending in Dragonite. All things considered, I'm going to bring in Kaiser here. Because Kaiser's got Ice Beam, but more importantly, the rest of my team that could deal with Dragonite is pretty beat up at the moment. So I want to take advantage of this extra time. So Dragonite, level 75. This is the strongest Pokemon. Inner Focus for the ability, holding a Citrus Berry. With it was Draco Meteor, Safeguard, Fire Blast, and Hyper Beam. Just as a bit of caution here, I'm going to go ahead and fully restore Gullywash. All right, Dragonite is going for Safeguard. That is fine. That gave me a free turn. That's exactly what I needed. Okay, we're going to opt in for Ice Beam, and Kaiser, surprisingly, is faster than Dragonite. Not going to complain about that one bit. That said, yep, as I expected. Even though that did do a lot of damage, Kaiser is still, all things considered, better at doing physical attacks than special attacks. So even though he is my mixed specialist and Kaiser is still an excellent beast of a Pokemon, it is going to struggle. My teeth are gritted so hard. Oh, let's go, Kaiser! You withstood the Draco Meteor. Let's go! Never doubt Kaiser. Critical hit. Where was that a minute ago? Always when it's pointless. Okay. 5,200 EXP. Next, I'm going to be sending in Altaria. I think I will go ahead and bring in Gullywash for this one as well, since Kaiser is pretty beat up at the moment. All right, Altaria, level 73, Natural Cure for the ability. With the moves Double Team, Dragon Breath, Perish Song, and Hyper Beam. This is definitely his least effectively powerful Pokemon, but that does not mean it's going to be an easy time for Gullywash. So we'll see how well he does. Yep, that was quad super effective, and it still only did that much. We're definitely seeing some pushback here. Mizumori, you really don't appreciate how effective Mizumori is until you take Mizumori out of the equation. Mizumori really carried me through this fight, evidently. Okay, no longer protected by Safeguard. He's only got one Pokemon left, and that, of course, is Charizard. All right, I thought this would never happen. Charizard versus Gullywash. Charizard is level 68, Blaze for the ability. But there was Flamethrower, Hyper Beam, Dragon Claw, and Air Slash. Well, Charizard, there's only one thing I have to say in times like this. If you flinch me, I'm going to kill you. Oh my god. Come on. Hopefully this will work out the way I want it to. It is super effective and stab and boosted by Mystic Water. So it's not quite enough. I never give up no matter what. You must do the same. Okay, I'm going to assume that he's going to use a full restore. I'm going to do the same. And if I'm wrong, then oh well. Yep, he did. I knew it. I know how Lance operates. I know how all these computers operate. All right, one more time, Gullywash. All right, not quite enough. He's using full restore one more time. That is okay. It's weird that he didn't use any of his full restores earlier. I find it very curious because there are definitely a lot of times where Gullywash could have had the win stolen from him if he had just used the full restore, but nope, he did not go for it then. Dude! How many full restores do you have? That's his third one. He really did burn all of them on Charizard. Bro, enough with the air slashes. It's not going to do anything. Okay, well, it didn't quite go as easily as I'd like, but either way, get mother heckin' Gullywashed! And there we go. Kanto team has beaten champion Lance. Now, that said, that's all well and good, but this is, again, as I said, a means to an end. This was not the explicit purpose of doing this particular deal. I wasn't just showing off Gullywash and the others against Lance for the heck of it. There is one other thing that we need to do that is made available once again by us defeating the Elite Four. And for everyone's relative convenience, I'm going to cut ahead. Now, before we move on to the next segment here, I do want to point out one other specific thing that came up. So, while going through the Pokemon that I transferred in, I want to point out this ribbon here. So, this is the Champion Ribbon. Now, this is not a ribbon that Gullywash and the others obtained from defeating the Elite Four just now. No. This ribbon is given to these Pokemon specifically because they defeated a champion in another region. Specifically because they beat the Elite Four in Fire Red and Fire Red in this case. And I find that fascinating because this ribbon is not something that you could ever observe inside of Pokemon Fire Red because they don't have ribbons in that game. So this bit of data has just been sitting there minding its own business this whole time until now. But yeah, everyone on this team has it. Okay, so there is only one more thing that I want to do with this particular team now that we have taken care of the Elite Four. Because the one trainer that I want to see this team fight, and I'm sure some of you want to see them fight too, is Red. And the only way to fight Red again is for you to rematch the Elite Four. You do that, and you can fight Red again. So I've done what I need to do. Now let's talk to you, sir, because I'm pretty sure you're Cameron, right? Yep, it's Cameron the photographer. Let's take a picture with Gullywash and the crew. It's like time never passed. Good, we got a nice picture. You can see all the pictures on your PC. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my way through Mount Silver. Now, before I do, I'm sure you're probably wondering, who knows Rock Climb now? It's Gullywash. I begrudgingly got rid of one of Gullywash's moves in favor of Rock Climb because, again, you have to have Rock Climb usable to you in order to get to Red. But all things considered, I don't think that's going to be a huge loss because I got rid of Bite in favor for Rock Climb, and let's be honest, Bite was not going to be all that helpful in the fight against Red regardless of what I do. So I think we will be okay. Oh, Balba's calling me. Really? Right now? You're calling me now? At the very end of things? Okay, well, at least I have more objects in the Safari Zone. Doesn't particularly matter now, but hey, what are you gonna do? All right. We've made it to the very top of Mount Silver once again. Only one thing left to do with this team. The sun sets on our adventure in the Johto region. We are nearing the very end of everything that we are going to do. So now, with our original Kanto team in hand, time to face ourselves once again. We are challenged by Pokemon Trainer Red. He's going to be starting off with Pikachu, level 88, static for the ability, holding a Light Ball. It is currently hailing, as a reminder. And Pikachu has the moves Volt Tackle, Iron Tail, Quick Attack, and Thunderbolt. Going to be starting off with Earthquake, and as you can see here, it's not going to be a simple task out like it was the last time. We're going to have to work for it. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's bad. Like, really? I get a critical hit immediately? Never say that my critical hit luck is good, because it really is not. That's really bad, actually. Let's bring in Raitoshi. That is as bad as it could possibly get. Well, fortunately, I've got max revives for days. So I guess Raitoshi can do some work on Pikachu. Instantly, Pikachu is using Volt Tackle. It is very powerful, and again, Pikachu does have better offenses than Raitoshi at the moment, but it also has worse defenses. That is while it was not very effective, by the way. How I ever managed to do this with the HeartGold team, I will never understand. Bro. Raitoshi had it handed to him. Okay, well, this Pikachu is proving to be very difficult. Like, seriously, if Kaiser could just get a hit in, we'd be fine. But I can't get one hit in on this thing. Okay, thank you. I was like, if I got 2 critical hits in a row, I actually would have just started over. All right, well, there goes Pikachu. It already cost me one of my Pokemon, but that's okay. I have an ace in the hole for this. Okay, it's going to be sending in Lapras next. All things considered, well, there really is no good solution for this. Yep, I guess we're going to go Rock Lee. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal? Well, again, Lapras here, for those of you who do not recall, Lapras here is level 80, has Shell Armor for the ability, with the moves Blizzard, Brine, Body Slam, and most importantly, Psychic. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm going to go with High Jump Kick. In retrospect, I really should have opted for Close Combat. For some reason, I had it in my mind that High Jump Kick had higher offensive power than Close Combat, which is why I didn't go for it. But I really should have gone for Close Combat, because that would have actually done it right there and then. Now, my hope is that Blizzard will not instantly take out Rock Lee, because while Rock Lee doesn't have the absolute best special defense, its physical defense is actually worse. So Red's going to be using a Florisaur on Lapras. That's actually fine. I'm going to be opting for Brick Break, and my hope is, given that the amount of damage that we saw before on High Jump Kick, I'm hoping that Brick Break can do at least half. If we can do at least half, then we can knock out Lapras next turn. Yeah, perfect. Of course, Hail's not going to be helpful here, but that is okay. Okay, there we go. Lapras has been taken out. That said, Hail's still going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, he's sending in Charizard next. I think we all know what the solution to that is. Now, the big problem is, given this environment, because we know how much Surf did against Charizard in the last battle, and this Charizard is way higher level than before. It's level 84, has Blaze for the ability, with his Flare Blitz, Air Slash, Blast Burn, and Dragon Pulse. So it hits even harder, and it's probably going to be able to take Gullywash's Surfs even better. But as always, it's still going for Air Slash. It may actually work out in my favor as long as things play out the way I need them to. Okay, so that did damage right kind of where I needed it to do. So my hope is that Charizard is just high enough on its HP. Oh, it did not keep Charizard in. It actually swapped out to Venusaur. This Venusaur is level 84, overgrowth for the ability with the moves Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Sleep Powder, and Frenzy Plant. He is not taking any chances. Okay, given the circumstances, I'm going to assume that Venusaur is going to go, well, pretty much for any attack on, yeah, let's just bring in Searcher. What am I doing? It's like, oh, I could go Kaiser. It's like, no, I have a Fire Dog. This is why Fire Dog is here. Yep, it opted for Giga Drain. Good. I mean, that was the right call in this case. Should not do too much. Okay, let's go ahead and go for Flamethrower here. I'm not sure how well this is going to do against Venusaur, honestly, because Venusaur does have a lot of special defense, but Searcher does have the Charcoal equipped. And of course, Flamethrower is super effective. Okay, so that kind of gets it, unfortunately, just outside the range that I need it to be. So, probably going to be seeing a little bit more of this Venusaur, assuming Red does not use a Florisaur right now. Oh, it did not go for a Florisaur. I'm genuinely surprised about that. I really thought Red was going to go for Florisaur. And of course, I get the critical hit, super effective Flamethrower, right when I didn't need it. Okay, next up he's going to be sending in his own Blastoise. Raitoshi would have been the best solution for this, but unfortunately, Raitoshi is out at the moment. So, I'm going to bring in Rock Lee, and I'm going to sack Rock Lee for now. I'll bring back Rock Lee later, though. Don't worry. So, his Blastoise is level 84, Torrent for the ability, with the moves Focus Blast, Hydro Cannon, Blizzard, and Flash Cannon. Don't know why I hesitated there. We're going to revive Raitoshi this turn, and I'm going to pray that Raitoshi between its type and Thunderbolt will be enough. But we're going to find out. Pointless critical hit, but okay. Fortunately, even though it is capable of using Blizzard, which, by the way, can never miss under these conditions, Blastoise is still susceptible to taking damage from Hail, because it is not an Ice type. All right. Fortunately, Raitoshi is faster, and it does, well, it is holding the magnet at the moment. So we could see some good damage here, but of course, as we've demonstrated plenty of times, Blastoise is very defensive on both ends. So everything kind of hinges on whether or not Raitoshi can survive a Blizzard. Yep, it can. Raitoshi is the best. I don't know why I was worried. Okay, there we go. Okay, Raitoshi gained some more EXP. Okay, his next Pokemon is going to be Snorlax. Unfortunately, the best Pokemon to deal with this is currently incapacitated. So we're going to bring in Searcher for this one. Searcher is going to be the best option, all things considered. But if things get really dicey, I'll bring back Rock Lee. We're going to go up and get that Intimidate off on Snorlax. This Snorlax is level 82, has Thick Fat for the ability, so using Flamethrower on Snorlax is actually not a good idea. It has the moves Shadow Ball, Crunch, Blizzard, and Giga Impact. Half of its moveset is physical, which means it is going to be to my benefit to, well, to have Intimidate go off. But like I said, Flamethrower is not going to be helpful here. So I'm actually going to go for Iron Tail and see if I can accomplish anything at all, because God forbid Iron Tail actually lands. At the very least, we've established that Crunch is not that effective. I'm going to go ahead and fully restore Searcher this turn, and then next turn, I'm going to fully revive Rockley. Yep, perfect. Okay. And now, just as a precautionary measure, I'm going to go ahead and fully revive Rockley. That was just after one defense drop? That's crazy. That Intimidate really does make a huge difference. Like, you really just cannot go wrong with it. You can't go wrong with Iron Tail, though, my God! Searcher! What are you doing, man? Okay. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go for high jump kick. I don't want to risk too much because yes, Snorlax does have some good bulk, but most of that bulk is in its special defense, and more importantly, I don't want to even entertain giving Snorlax the chance of getting a good hit in on Rocklead with the physical attack. Rocklead does not have good physical defense. Not that Snorlax doesn't have special attacks, but that's beside the point. All right, he's going to be sending in Charizard again. I'm going to bring in Raitoshi for this. I don't know if Raitoshi is ultimately going to be faster than Charizard, but at this point, that's his last Pokemon. So if we can get past Charizard, we'll be good to go. And there we go. That's it. We defeated Red once again with the original Kanto team. And he is gone. And for some reason, that causes the game to go black. And with that, I think we can go ahead and call it here. This series has been a very long journey. It has taken quite a bit of time for us to put this series together. There have been a lot of things happening in between that have put this series on hold. Things that has required me to really spend time to make everything the way I want it to be. But I'm very happy that I played this game. I'm very happy that I relived all the magic that this game has to offer. And I'm very glad that I was able to bring the Pokemon that I took the time to raise in an entirely previous adventure and bring them here and remind you of the magic that they brought to me and hopefully to you as well. But as I kind of indicated before in different videos and different posts, this has been a very humbling experience for me. This series has really kind of shown me the reality of what it takes to make series of this particular quality. It takes quite a bit of work and requires quite a bit of time. Time that I am not able to invest as easily as I thought I was going to. The slightest roadblock in my schedule did compromise things along the way. But to be fair, in the last few months, we have been experiencing some major roadblocks, some of which I'm still not at liberty to talk about. But even so, I'm glad I did this. And I'm very glad that we're finally at the end. Well, sort of. There is going to be one more video that I do plan to have just to kind of cover a couple more bases of things that I didn't quite find an opportunity to talk about any other video organically. But yeah, this is the end of both the journeys of Blazer and of Gullywash. But now both of them are home, and they are together at long last, the god and the king. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's real nice that you brought over your Kanto party, but what about all the other Pokemon from your Let's Play? What about them? Are you just abandoning them outright? Guys, come on. Do you really think I would do that?
Can't